Hi there, it is the 30th of May today, and I thought that you might like to see what I've been up to in my books, because I was just twiddling my thumbs of what I'd like to do for June, and I thought I'd best share with you what I've been up to in my books. Also, there's a few little bits, well, one little bit in particular. It's a little unusual item for me, but I thought it might be quite fun. I just saw this in a shop and I was like, oh, I like this one. Obviously we've all seen Lilo and Stitch at this point, I think. And obviously there's loads of merch at the moment because they're releasing the live action version. But I'm kind of hoping that I've got this. It's Beast from Beauty and the Beast, which is my favourite Disney movie. So I'm kind of hoping I've got that one. But these blind boxes, you can never really tell. So I thought we'd unbox it together and see what I've got. So fingers crossed for Beast. Ooh, yeah, let's stab myself while I'm at it. Oh, it doesn't even show you what it is inside the box. It's still a mystery. Oh, this is actually kind of cute. It's not Beast, obviously. It is Simba when he's dressing up to be the Lion King, I think. Is it? I think so. Yeah, it must be Simba. So yeah, actually I quite like that. Even though it's not Beast, but that is nice. I like that. It's got a nice little weight to it as well. I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, he can stand on my little shelf for now. What others are there? So there's like 12 of them to collect in this series, I think. So Stitch in costume. So there's all sorts of different ones. Some I don't even recognise. But yeah, he's actually quite cute. Sitting there. So yeah, I thought we'd just have a little fun there. Okay, so to my books. What have I been up to? I always go so far in these. I'm like, it's so far ahead in the year. But no. Okay, so as I've said before, I use one spread for 2 months. So one monthly spread for 2 months. So this is May and June. So it's only like half filled, which is fine. But I thought you guys would like to see the full setup because I think I only showed you the calendar last episode. So yeah, this is the cover sort of mood board thing for the month. Some people use these as goals and things as well, which I kind of think I need to start doing as well in planning a bit better. This is the inbox. So I've completed some stuff in halfway through doing some other stuff. This is the monthly calendar you guys saw, but it was a little less empty last time. I've decided to sort of like mark the days off. I know people do it with stickers and things, but I've just used a little stencil and just mark them off each day. And then I've got June in focus along here, and then my June dates are these grey boxes. So yeah. So then these is the weekly page, and there's 2 weeks on one page. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I ignored Sunday because I'm trying to have like Saturday and Sunday off and not do any work at all and just literally switch off from everything. It's not working so far, but you know, I'm trying to do it. So yeah, we've got 2 Mondays here, so the 5th and the 12th, and then the 6th and the 13th for the Tuesday. All I do is put what I need to do that day, the main focus of what I need to do. And then important appointments up there, my expenses, the in focus for the 2 different weeks, some notes, and then we've got some more notes pages where I'm basically writing down ideas for projects that I'm working on or little measurements that I need to remember. There is other pages as well, but I've not used them, so I've just clipped them together to make it easier. I did change up how I do the weeks as well, so it was quite drastic from that to that, and this works so much better. So instead of splitting each square box up for 2 days, I've basically done 1 week on this column and used the is it appointments? Yeah, important and importance box, because I don't really use it, and plus I'm marking them in my calendar anyway. So I've just split them up into Monday to Friday, and then I'm also marking how many hours I do. So I log how many hours I use in the weeklies in my Hobonichi, and then this coincides with this as well, but this sometimes goes into a bit more detail than what the Hobonichi does. So yeah, then on this side I kept the expenses because it's nice for me to realise how much I'm spending, and I've spent quite a lot this month because there has been sales, both Sterling Ink and Hobonichi, so I've taken advantage of those. So I will be doing an unboxing video of those when they come. And then I've got split this box up into weekends in case there's something I need to do right, 'cause like this weekend was an important one. And then this weekend coming, which is like tomorrow. So far no plans, but I know I'll end up working because I'm behind on something that I'm working on. In focus of what I need to focus on that week in a little bit more in depth. And then my note pages. I'm currently working on a B5 book that you'll see soon enough when I can get a proper B5 book, not the Salogy. And then there's just an empty page left. And then this will go in from June the 2nd. Yeah, June the 2nd. So then these will be my June weeks. And then I've not done any notes in the back, oddly enough, yet for this, apart from obviously like ink swatches and that sort of stuff. So it's working this way, but not necessarily that way. And I'll go into more depth as to why it's not working that way. Because there's lots of basically empty grid pages at the back for you to expand on in things. I will talk about that in a future video about my workbook, in my intentions with it soon enough. So let's move on to the Hobonichi. The pens that I've been using, this month I've been using the brown Copic Multiliner 0.3 in the faded Chronicle undated edition. So that's been the main pen that I've used for that, and then I've just been highlighting with the Tombow 126. And then I've been using this in the Hobonichi as well for highlighting, as well as the Derwent Inktense Fern 1506, and then I've also been using the Copic Multiliner Cool Grey 0.3 as my main writing pen. So they're the tools I've been mainly using, and then obviously my stencils and whatever stickers I thought were deemed the correct ones to use. So this is my monthly page. I'm not sure if it looks different from last time we saw it, because I'm not sure how much information I had on it last time. But yeah, I just use that as and when. It does get filled up with more than just work stuff. It gets personal stuff and proper work stuff. It gets filled up with my non-content creation life, let's put it that way. And then we move on to the weeklies, which started here. I don't know why. I realized like a week after, like, why did I do the first in that color? But that should have all been green, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So this is how the weeklies have looked. Lots of traveling this month and moving and all sorts of things, crazy stuff. In celebrations. And then this is this month, but I need to backfill Wednesday and Thursday, and then this is today, so I'll be filming on there, and then it's ready for the June weeks. And then the dailies, look like this. So I did finally manage to put my giant sticker that I've been working on for Moss in Memory. It was the sticker kit I was working on for May, but I just did not get it done in time. I mean, I think I only got this done like the 20th of May. So that just shows you how far behind I was. But I think I'm going to like stick a pin in it for now and then come back to it in a few months and then do it, like tweak it and do it properly, so then it's ready for next year's release. So if anybody's interested in my stickers, you can get the May kit then. Hopefully by then there'll be other sticker kits as well available. So yeah, the 1st of May was just basically me saying hello to May and just having a little catch up. What I expect from May, what goals I want to achieve, and just associations with May and that sort of thing. Then we moved on to Glasgow because I had a lovely little trip to Glasgow. I know I've said it in past videos, but the fact they have Iron Brew on tap is just incredible at McDonald's. But yeah, so this is how the Glasgow spreads are looking. Actual paper ticket that I wrote on the back as well because I needed more space to write. This whole double space thing is really working for me. It's brought a little bit of joy back into my journaling that I was missing sort of like at the beginning of April, and it really does just simply work for me. And it helps my little dyslexic brain, and also for me it looks more aesthetically pleasing and it makes me want to reread and highlight stuff and write more notes and this, that and the other. So yeah, that was about the exhibition, some little bits that I picked up. Then about the morning of, and then my trip to, oh, we missed the page, to go to the Macintosh at the Willow, which has all just been refurbished exactly to Charles Rennie Mackintosh's original designs, which is fantastic. And then I've obviously put lots of images, but I've done these flaps and I think they really work. And again, I can write on the back of them as well, rather than, you know, using more pages up. So I went to town writing about it because I was so excited about it, and then the whole ethos about how Mackintosh had a forest in mind when he was designing it. So the back tea room is like in the depth of the forest, so it's quite dark and moody. But then the front one is like at the beginning of the forest where you can see all the foliage and the sunlight and this, that and the other. And then the mezzanine level is like when you're up in the canopy, the tree canopies, with all the natural sunlight shining through and creating shadows and stuff from below, shining down below. So yeah, we had lunch there as well because it is an actual active working tea room, as well as, you know, you can go on a tour of the whole building, and there's an exhibition there as well. So we did all three of those. So that was lovely. And then a little journal entry about Miles between past and present, and just settling in a little bit and then being on the road as well, so we did a lot of traveling. This is when I discovered Magnum cherries, and I just had to, I mean, this is the first time I've ever had one. I bit into it and I'm like, this is the Magnum. If Magnum approached me, Walls Magnum approached me and said, do you want to make a cherry Magnum? This is exactly what I would have done. I would have suggested. I bit into it and it was like a dream. It just hit all of the notes, and it flabbergasted me so much. I'm like, I have to take a picture of this because it was a really sunny day as well, so that just helped. So yeah, that's that image. And then I've just gone to town talking about how I love cherries, and yeah, I've even just got a fresh batch of cherries as well, Spanish cherries that I will be noshing on in a bit. I need to take a sip of my matcha. For some reason my matcha's come out a little brown coloured. And I think it's because it's the salted caramel one, which by the way is very nice. but it should be green. Green matcha. Well, no, the matcha is a little bit more brown, and again, I think it's because of the caramel. Watch me get matcha powder everywhere now. So yeah, that's that one. It's very nice. It is very creamy as well. And I'm not really a huge caramel fan, so that's high praise from me for someone that's not really a caramel fan. But it just adds a little bit of sweetness to the earthiness that is matcha. But I need to drink matcha because it is very good for me. It helps with my endometriosis and stuff, so yeah. The other thing here was I started a cross-stitching project because I picked up June's edition of the cross stitcher because I was bored in the car, you know, being a passenger princess. So I picked this up at a service station. And the reason why I picked it up is for this design here, which is like a spiral, a woodland spiral. Sorry if you guys are not interested in cross stitching whatsoever. It's just something that I picked up. But how nice is that? That is really nice. So that's why I picked up the magazine. I'm like, I want to do that. So I need to order the bits for it because I don't have all of the threads and I definitely don't have that colored either. So I need to order that. So that's why I picked up the magazine. But it comes with like a little free kit, which is what I was doing in the car, and I'd started it. And cross stitching always takes a long time anyway. But I've managed to complete it, and it looks like this. This little cutesy bird. So yeah, a little embroidery on the side there. But I like being able to do things like this because it's sort of like mindless, practical things that keeps my hands busy. Because, you know, I'm not really one of those, like, if I go to a cinema, I will switch off and watch the movie. That is the reason why I still like to go to the cinema, because there is nothing else you can do but watch the movie, because that is why you are there. But if I'm at home and put on a movie, I'm like, I need to be doing something, whether it's cleaning something or, you know, drawing on something or doing my journaling. You know, I can't just sit there and watch. I will need to do something. So cross stitching is another great thing to keep my hands busy. So moving on, ghost grids and deadlines. This is a little sneak peek of what's coming up, hopefully. And I'm going to put together like a Hobonichi kit for the AVAC, the second half of the year. And it's going to feature a front cover, a special front cover. I shall add not just the design, but what it can do. And some stickers so you can customize the planner, and some functional stickers as well. So hopefully I'll get it all done in time. I'm hoping to get it done by the 5th of June. I'm still working on the cover, for God's sakes. I've not got into anything else yet. I'm still working on the cover. So yeah, hopefully I can get that done, and it will be a physical product. So it will be on my website, but it might be like the only thing that's on my website. I might have like a homepage and then the shop and then that's it, because again, I'm behind on working on the website. So my website will be very sparse, but it will be able, so you can purchase it. I was thinking about doing like Etsy and things, but every time I look at like YouTube videos on like how to sell on Etsy and this, that and the other, there's so many different cons and pros, and it just seems like I'm losing control a little bit. And also you give up rights in terms of copyright and stuff like this when you sell on Etsy a little bit. So I'd rather just have it on my own website so I can have complete control. So yeah, hopefully that's going to work out okay, but I'll keep you guys posted about that if you're interested. Moving on, docket unlock. I love that word, docket, instead of to-do list. It's a word I've always known, but I've just never twigged to use it instead of to do. So now I do. So yeah, going on a little bit about Hobonichi and B5 books. And then Leave Me Alone. I mean, I'm technically living out of a suitcase at the moment in different Airbnbs, but I decided to buy a plant. And this is what this is. Meet Elmo. This is a bonsai tree, but it is related to the elm species of tree, hence Elmo. And it was like £2.50, reduced from 15 to 10 to £2.50. He was dry as a bone when I got him. I've watered him and he's already sprouted new stuff already, so hopefully he's going to turn into a beautiful big bonsai tree that I can, cultivate, as long as I can keep him alive. I've never really kept sort of plants and things, so this is like my first experiment to see if I can do it. So yeah, welcome Elmo. So it's going to be interesting getting on the train with my suitcase and then holding a plant when I have to move to another Airbnb. Anyway, mug life. I've also got a few mugs, because the mugs here at the Airbnb are like these tiny little things. I mean, I brought my teacup from my studio because I was like, I need a proper cup. But then I ended up getting some Starbucks mugs as well. Mainly because I'd got 1,000 stars, so I could redeem it to get the grey Starbucks mug. But then I saw this beautiful mermaid sort of mug, and it's the colour of Nookie. So I'm like, I've got to have that. Even if I just use it as a pencil pot on my desk or something, I've got to have that one. And plus, I really like the texture of it as well. It's really nice. So yeah, little thing there. And then the final entries for the month is all about Casper. Well, not necessarily Casper. Well, yeah, okay. Let me explain. It's all about how Casper has affected me since watching it as a kid. It celebrated its 30th year on the 26th, so hunting season opens May 26th, 1995. But it's, now I'm looking at it from like a retrospective point of view. It's like, I didn't realize how much this movie actually affected me in, even still today, with things that I'm doing. So Casper the movie was the first movie where I took notice of architecture. Whipstaff Manor, which is the house that Casper lives in with his uncles. And it is all based on Gaudi's architecture, which of course I love as well. And it's just, that was like the first thing that sort of started feeding the architecture monster that's inside me. And I'm just talking about how it goes into that, how it's fed into that side of my life, but it's also feeding into this side of my life with art and journal creation, with art and journals and things. Because I know I purposely redesigned my Nookie logo to look like Casper, as you can see on screen. But even before I redesigned it to look like that, I wanted to go for that Art Nouveau organic sort of like vintage, but at the same time strip it back so it wasn't too fussy, which sometimes it can come across. So it's just interesting how Casper has sort of weaved its way into my life the entire time. And then of course there's the flip side of moving away from the manor itself, is ghosts and ghouls and little gothic elements and this, that and the other, that has just always stayed with me throughout my life. Because yeah, you've just seen me unbox Stitch because I do like a little bit of Disney, but then I really like sort of like the horror in gothic. And with me there's kind of like no in between. There's like cute Disney stuff although I've got to admit I do prefer the darker Disney stuff than the super cute stuff. And then there's the horror side, and there's like no grey area with me. It's like one or the other. There's no in between. So yeah, it's I just wanted to talk about how, given that it was its anniversary for Casper, and just how much it has affected my life. Because it is quite interesting now that I've thought about it and wrote about it. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of little bits and bobs that have really gone, wow, I didn't realize that was related to that. So yeah, but that's where we are today, the 30th, Friday. I was still talking about Casper, so I've ended up filling the last few pages with Casper because I had a lot to say. I even wrote a poem. I don't know why I've started writing like little poems or whatnot, but I just have. I've just, as I said before, because of the double line spacing, it has brought me joy and made it more aesthetically pleasing and also easier for my dyslexic brain to read. But it's also reignited my joy for actually writing. I'm not saying I'm a writer or a poet or anything like that. I'm getting that nice little flow of just wanting to write. Because even now I'm like, I want to write something else. But I've run out of space for this month. But I think I'm going to go straight into June and just write what I want to write about. Because in the margins I'll just put, you know, it was for the 30th or whatnot. But yeah, so that is all the flip through my books and a very long ramble for you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's where we are with June. Now June has got this really dark green. Do I want to tell you what I'm going to do? Because I'm not entirely sure if I know what I want to do. If that makes sense. God. I'll do another video about June. I think I'll do another video, especially when I've got a few bits to show you, so I can literally show you what I'm doing. But then June that's it for this book. That's half of the year. Poof, gone. You know. So yeah, we'll then be moving into the new book, which just I love it when they're like this. They're just so new, so innocent, don't know what life is going to hit them with yet. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to getting my cover done. If I don't get the whole set done, at least I'll get the cover done. I have to, because it's going to drive me nuts otherwise. But I want to get the whole set done. So hopefully the next video you'll see from me, I will be showing you in detail what I've done. So it has to get done. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts as always. And I'd love to see what you guys are up to. You know, I see bits and bobs on different people on Instagram and YouTube as well, of course. I watch everybody's videos. But let me know of some suggestions of other creators that you know of. Obviously, there's Untitled Paintings, Megan Rhiannon, I think it's Lexan Law or Brittle Law. I don't know, Bronte. But let me know of any other British ones, because I'm getting a lot of Canadian and American ones, which is great, but I would like to have a few more various British creators as well, like Journal in Commonplace people. I'd love to know your suggestions, so leave them in the comments below. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this flip through. This flip through. And a few little bits and bobs that I've thrown in. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. Flip through. Oh, you mad banana.